we are 2 weeks into the NFL season and the LA Rams are already in crisis mode. I mean, we've lost basically our entire offensive line, both starters and the backups. Now it seems we've got no Puka Nakua, no Cooper Kupp, our tight ends are dropping. The whole team just seems to have kind of fallen to the injury bug so early in the season, and it's such a shame considering we had such high hopes as fans coming into this year that they could really build on last year, making that playoffs berth and then coming back and trying to get some redemption. And they put up a good fight to the Lions, but ultimately lost in overtime. And then just the Cardinals just absolutely spanked us. And it was just tough to watch. I mean, first, before I get into the injuries and talk about the Rams as a whole for the season, I do want to break down kind of the game in itself. And the best place to start is probably with the Cardinals, to be honest, because I do think they just played unbelievable. Yes, the Rams were depleted, but they just took advantage of everything they could. I mean, they went in at halftime at 24-3 up. They just wiped the floor. I mean, the key performers, Marvin Harrison Jr. having his real breakout year. He got 130 yards on only 4 receptions, got 2 touchdowns, just showed why he was so highly rated as well. With his movement, his catching ability, just that explosive play was incredible. Kyler Murray just was outstanding, I thought. The Rams really struggled to be able to hold on to him. I think when they had a few different sack opportunities, they just seemed to fall short. It was a lot of grabbing for the jumper and just falling through the fingers. And it's something the Rams really need to work on. It was Fisk and Verse that were doing well to get the pressure on Kyler Murray, but just couldn't close out the play. And so with his mobility, he was able to just keep it going and then really make the Rams pay. So he went 17 off 21 passing attempts, 266 yards passing, 59 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Flawless display. I believe he had a perfect passer rating, so just brilliant display and full credit to him. I thought it was just ridiculous and showed why he's been so highly touted. Just unfortunately has struggled with injuries, which has really limited the Cardinals. But I think this display really showed they could take on anyone. And although the Rams, as much as I have hopes for them and coming into the season and thought they could do really well, I think when the Cardinals come up against another division rival in the 49ers or when they come up against the Eagles, that'll be the real big test to see what the Cardinals may be able to do this year. I think that they're not going to be contenders or anything, but just can they be a bit more competitive? It felt like for the last few years, they've just kind of been a win, you draw up, and barring the other low teams that they play, they never felt like they were really a chance to take a win from anyone. So hopefully they're just a bit more competitive for their sake this season. Another couple of big performances on the offense. James Conner thought was outstanding. 122 yards he had, a touchdown, 21 carries. I think it was 5.8 yards per carry. He was outstanding. On the defense, just the 2 players that ultimately stood out for the Cardinals were Dennis Gardeck getting 3 sacks. He was just able to crash the already depleted offensive line on the Rams. Just took advantage of the inexperience that was there and the lack of sharpness, and just getting those 3 sacks just really halted anything Matthew Stafford could try and do with the players that were out there. And then also because the Cardinals just shut down the run game too. Like Kyron Williams couldn't really get much going. He did get the 1 touchdown, but had minimal yards per carry. Blake Corum also couldn't quite get too much going as well. So I thought they did outstandingly on that interior. But for me, the one player who, when I was watching it, not really knowing the in-depth stats until after I looked at it, it just felt like every time the Rams would try something, Budda Baker was there, cutting it out, breaking it down. You had the big 4th down attempt that the Rams went for. Ball gets to Cooper Kupp, he goes to turn, and then just Budda Baker's right there to stop. And it just felt like every time the Rams were trying something or were close, he was the one that was there to stop him. So I thought he was outstanding. But full credit to the Cardinals. They put on a great display, made the Rams pay as well for the mistakes they did have and the inexperience and lack of sharpness that was out there. I thought they performed really well. But moving it back to the Rams, it was just, it was tough viewing for starters. It was injury after injury. And a couple of years ago when the Rams only won the 5 games, it was a big reason of that was the offensive line just going down injuries. So it just takes your mind back to then about how much they did struggle, because that's the biggest thing is, can Matthew Stafford stay healthy and stay upright? And the way he stays upright is you have a good offensive line around him. And so with them crashing out, he's got no chance and no time to really throw it. He's doing his best. He's showing the quality he does have, but just can't quite make the plays there. And then when you combat that with the fact that the run game couldn't get going as well with the offensive line, it means all the pressure is then back on him. He's constantly dealing with second and third down, long downs as well. It's just, there's only so much you can really do as well. And then to further compound that, he's then missing his starting tight end who got injured last year in the game against Detroit in Tyler Higbee. He's out, I think, for basically the season. He's out because I think he did his ACL. Cooper Kupp got injured in this game. Puka Nacua got injured in this game. Both expected to go on IR. I believe Puka already is. Backup tight end in Davis Allen has gone down as well. It's just, there's just not much they can really do, and it's tough because when you think Puka and Cooper Kupp will be, say they come straight back when they get off IR, so we're looking at round 6 basically. I think the Rams have the round 6 bye, so we're looking at round 7 they come in. If maybe, like, your only hope is that they can then get to that point with a chance of, like, they basically get to that point where their season's not done and keep moving forward. But it feels more likely we're going to get to that point. The season will basically be over. They'll be almost ready to just crash out, like tank down and try and get a big pick. The Rams actually have their own pick as well this year, so they can actually take advantage of the lower draft pick that they'll have and pick up a bit of a game changer, and I hope that makes a difference for next year. But just no offensive line. And here's the full list of the players currently injured for the Los Angeles Rams. You've got Davis Allen, Jonah Jackson, Joshua Cardi, so our kicker also got injured, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Steve Avila, Kevin Dotson, Tyler Higbee, John Johnson III, Joe Noteboom, Darius Williams, Trey Tomlinson, Connor McDermott, Laurel Murchison, Darren Kendrick. So we have 15 players injured. That's a fucking shit ton, especially when so many of them are important. I mean, you look at the offensive line, you've got Joe Noteboom was starting at left tackle. Kevin Dotson, Steve Avila, and Jonah Jackson were the whole interior offensive line. So that means from your offensive line, you've only got Rob Havenstein still there from your main front line. Your 2 best wide receivers are injured. Your best tight end and your second or third choice tight end, wherever you rank Davis Allen compared to Colby Parkinson. Your safeties, your new signing, big signing cornerback in Darius Williams, you're just all over the field, offense, defense, all just ripped to shreds, and it's just tough. And I mean, if there's 2 players I trust to make it work, it's Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay, but the season's looking on ropes already, and it's tough to view, and it's not what you want to see. I mean, there was just such high hopes coming in to this season. I really thought the Rams could do something special, but I don't know how that can happen now. I don't know. I don't know if now I'm kind of just hoping the season's done, bottom out, look at the draft, see who you might be able to get with a top 5 pick, because even us bottoming out, I think Carolina will still find a way to be worse. So it's a lot, and it's just I'm struggling to put into words kind of the feeling on the season at this stage. I think it's just not what you want to see. It's not how you want it to go, but hopefully they come back. And I'm just trying to see who we have next week coming up. I couldn't remember. Oh, that's right. 49ers at home. So it's a big rivalry game. The team will be able to get up for it, but just it's gonna be tough. And that Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, like taking on that offensive line that's there, just I mean, the wide receivers will be having a field day against Ward. Like, I mean, Ward will be able to have a field day against the wide receivers that are out there. It's gonna be tough viewing, but as a fan, you're hoping you can only go from there. But it is what it is, and I guess just fingers crossed they're able to find something against the 49ers, and we'll take it from there. But let me know your thoughts on the Rams season, how your team's going as well in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like on the video as well and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, don't miss any videos going forward. I'll be discussing the NFL, the AFL, Premier League, trying to discuss a multitude of sports. If there's anything else you want me to cover as well, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check and try and get to those as well for any topics. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day.